The notification on my phone appeared at exactly 11:47 p.m. I was standing outside my office building in downtown Chicago, waiting for my Uber to arrive, when the app suddenly displayed a message that made my stomach drop. "Your driver has arrived." I looked up and saw a black SUV stopping in front of me. The strange part was, I never entered my destination. I hadn't even opened the app long enough to type my home address. I got inside, expecting a normal ride home after a long day at work. The driver introduced himself as Daniel Brooks and quietly pulled away from the curb. I was about to tell him my apartment address when he looked at me through the rearview mirror and said, "Don't worry, I know where you're going." I laughed nervously, thinking he was making a joke. Then he said my exact address, every number, every detail. The same place I had lived for 3 years. I immediately leaned forward and asked, "How do you know my address?" Daniel didn't answer. His hands tightened around the steering wheel, and for several seconds, the only sound inside the car was the rain hitting the windows. Finally, he whispered, "Because I've taken you there before." I felt a cold feeling move through my body. I stared at him and said, "This is my first time riding with you." Daniel slowly looked back at me and replied, "No, it isn't." I opened the Uber app to check the ride history, expecting to prove he was wrong. But when I looked at the screen, my blood ran cold. There was a previous trip with Daniel Brooks listed 3 weeks earlier. Same car, same driver, same passenger. The only problem was, I had no memory of it. Then I noticed something even stranger. The destination wasn't my apartment. It was a location I had never visited before, a place marked only as final stop. I spent the next few seconds staring at the Uber app, trying to convince myself there had to be a simple explanation. Maybe someone had hacked my account. Maybe Daniel had seen my address somewhere before. Maybe I was just tired and letting my imagination get the best of me. But then, I noticed something that made my hands start shaking. The previous trip wasn't just a normal ride. The date was exactly 3 weeks earlier, and the pickup location was the same office building where I was standing tonight. I turned my phone toward Daniel and asked him what was happening. He didn't look surprised. In fact, he looked like he had been waiting for this moment. "You really don't remember, do you?" he said quietly. I told him I had never seen him before tonight. Daniel took a deep breath and reached into the center console. He pulled out his own phone, opened a folder, and showed me a picture. The moment I saw it, my heart nearly stopped. The picture showed the inside of his Uber, the same black seats, the same dashboard, the same rain-covered windows, and sitting in the back seat was me. I was wearing the exact same jacket I had on right now. But that wasn't the worst part. The timestamp on the photo was 3 weeks ago at 11:47 p.m. The exact same time I had entered his car tonight. I stared at the image, unable to speak, while Daniel whispered, "You asked me to take you somewhere that night, but you disappeared before we arrived." I wanted to believe he was lying. I wanted to believe it was some kind of sick prank. But before I could say anything, my phone suddenly vibrated. A new notification appeared from the Uber app. I looked down and felt every bit of warmth leave my body. The message wasn't from Daniel. It wasn't from Uber support. It was a ride update from my own account. "Your trip has been completed." Underneath it was the final destination, the same unknown location from 3 weeks ago. And then another message appeared. "Passenger has arrived." I stared at my phone, waiting for the screen to change, hoping it was some kind of glitch. But the message stayed there. "Passenger has arrived." My hands were shaking so badly that I almost dropped the phone. I looked at Daniel and asked him what the final destination meant. For several seconds he said nothing. Then he slowly pulled the car to the side of the road and turned off the engine. The rain continued hitting the windshield as he whispered, "That's where you were supposed to disappear." I asked him what he meant, and Daniel finally told me everything. 3 weeks earlier, he had picked me up from the exact same location at the exact same time. According to him, I was acting strange. I kept looking behind me and asking if anyone had followed me into the car. He said I gave him an address, but when he entered it into the navigation system, the location didn't exist. Then, halfway through the ride, I grabbed his shoulder and told him something he never forgot. "If I don't remember this night, don't let me go there again." Daniel said he tried to ask me what I meant, but before he could get an answer, I disappeared. Not got out of the car, not walked away. Disappeared. 1 second I was sitting in the back seat, and the next second the seat was empty. He thought he was losing his mind until he found my phone lying on the seat. The same phone I was holding right now. He kept it for 3 weeks, waiting for me to come back and explain what happened. I looked down at my own phone, trying to understand how that was possible. Then a new notification appeared on the screen. This time it wasn't from Uber. It was from the camera app. A video had been recorded automatically. The file name was simple: The Last Ride. I pressed play, and the screen showed Daniel's car from 3 weeks ago. I watched myself sitting in the back seat, terrified, looking directly into the camera. Then my past self leaned forward and whispered 5 words that made my blood run cold. "He's already sitting beside me." I dropped my phone onto the seat and stared at the screen in disbelief. The video kept playing, showing a version of me from 3 weeks ago that I didn't remember becoming. My past self looked terrified, constantly checking the empty space beside him as if someone invisible was sitting there. Then the camera angle suddenly changed. For a brief second, the reflection in the window became visible. There was someone sitting next to me in the back seat, someone who wasn't supposed to be there. I looked at Daniel and asked him why he never showed this video to the police. His face became pale. He said he tried. After I disappeared, he reported everything, but when officers checked the vehicle, they found no evidence that I had ever been inside. No fingerprints, no camera footage, no phone. Nothing. The only thing they found was a strange message written on the inside of the back window. 3 words that Daniel said he would never forget. "He is returning." Before I could ask who he was, every light inside the car turned off at the same time. The engine stopped. The dashboard went completely black. Then my phone started ringing. I looked at the screen and felt my heart stop. The caller ID showed my own name, my own number. I slowly answered the call, and for several seconds there was only silence. Then I heard my own voice on the other end whisper, "Don't trust Daniel. He's the reason you never made it home." I looked up at Daniel, but he wasn't looking at me anymore. He was staring through the windshield with a terrified expression. Slowly, he raised his hand and pointed toward the back seat. I turned around, expecting to see nothing. But sitting there in the darkness was a man wearing the same jacket I was wearing, the same face, the same voice. He smiled and whispered, "You finally remembered the ride." Then the Uber app on my phone opened by itself and displayed a new trip request. Pickup location, 3 weeks ago. Passenger, me.